I want to use the word that like people are not stable, but that's probably not the right turn of phrase, so just forgive me, okay? And the other one was my dad passing. Now when my dad passed, a lot of things changed for me. And Ghana is very different when you're doing Ghana by yourself, if you started off with someone. Ghana is for the entrepreneurial. If you're not entrepreneurial, you're gonna have a very tough time here. She's changed. Why is she like this? She's changed. Yeah, I've changed because I had to change. Hey guys, all right, so last night, I don't know, I couldn't sleep. And so in the night, while I was supposed to be sleeping, it was like 5 a.m. I was still lying here, and I had all these thoughts going through my head. And I actually thought, you know what? It's about time that I give you a life update. What's been going on with me here in Ghana and all that good stuff. I feel like I used to do it regularly, but probably not so much anymore. And so I thought now's a good time. Can you see my grays? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like the grays, just here, just like I have it dotted around, but just here, the strip is absolutely, it's crazy. But anyway, so I thought I would give you a live update as to just what's been going on, how, you know, how I feel about Ghana and all the things. You know, I've had a few changes and stuff like that. So I thought, hey, why not turn on the camera and let's talk about it. You know, one thing I'm gonna say to you is that there are a lot of people doing like Ghana content, Ghana videos and talking about their experiences, but you know what? I'm always gonna give you the real. Always gonna give you the real about what life is really like here. You know, and I feel like in the past, people have kind of deterred me a little bit from it because, you know, you do these real videos and then people are like, always being negative. It's not about being negative, it's just about telling the truth. So I thought, hey, to hell with all that, I'm gonna give one. So I'm just gonna finish getting myself ready. And then I need to go check just around the house. You know, every now and again I go just check around the house, seeing as I'm the man of the house. So I'm gonna take you with me, and we're gonna go do that. My front door is broken. Like, you know the, what do you call it? What's that? You know the bit that comes out from the lock when you turn it, right, to go into the other side. The part, I can't really explain it. You know the part that goes from here into here, right? It's stuck, and so I need someone to come and fix it. And then this thing too. This is me. I took this off because the screws were broken. So I put some extra screws in here to fix the lock because the handle had all come off. But for some reason, this part, which just tightens on here, will not go for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, long story. But yeah. Last night, obviously we're in raining season right now, and so it did rain. So the place was a little bit wet. Not that you could see much wet. But turn these lights off and stuff. And so it's funny. So out here, down here, we had some birds like doing a nest here. It was getting crazy out here because like poop was everywhere. Look, let me show you. So you see up there, they created a bird's nest there. And then like the birds have been pooping everywhere. Sorry to say, your girl we had to break the nest because I was like, this is getting out of hand. It was cute when there was 1 or 2, but like when you have 7, 8, 9, 10, no, this is not your home. Sorry for the animal lovers out there, but no, we had to break that. And so yeah, because it's rained, all the weeds are growing back out here again. You know, here I can't really sort out this compound until we finish with the build, because anything I do here will be wasted, because when trucks and stuff come in, when the guys come in, it just turns into another baller, you know, so it's hard. Hey, considering that it rained today, it's kind of warm, it's kind of hot. It's not bright, but it's hot, you know? So that's weird. You know what, I was gonna sit here and talk to you, but you know what, I remember what happened. The last time I sat there, I got chewed up by mosquitoes, like severely, so on my back. So I'm not gonna sit there. And then last night, I ran out of gas when I was cooking. So I had to take the gas from the apartment because no one's in there, which is this one here, and replace it. So I need to go refill this one, but not today though. I've got way too much on my plate to do today. So I'm just gonna go into the apartment very quickly. I like to come in and check in here every now and again, just, you know, because of like dust and stuff like that. All right, hopefully you can hear me while the AC is going off, because I came in here and it was a bit hot, so I put the AC on. But anyway, life update. So I've been distracted, so life update. So one of the things I was thinking about last night when I was like tossing and turning was really like living in Ghana, you know, going from being someone who was married to being single. Like, has life really changed for me? And I would say yes and no to that. It has. So let me give you a quick update of some of the things that has kind of like happened, transpired, whatever you want to call it. So first of all, you know, you were watching me for a long time, you know that, you know, came to Ghana, and, you know, I can't even say that word. We came to Ghana as a group, a family group, and then, you know, that broke down, and so I'm just here, it's just me and the kids here right now. And I've had a lot of things happen. I think one of the things that happens in Ghana that's really quite difficult to deal with is people coming in and out of your life. So I don't know if it's possible to like, and take this with a pinch of salt, to like really make friends. For one, because people go in and out all the time, and sometimes I feel like a lot of people, and Adwa touched on this in the interview that I did with her, a lot of people I feel like are dealing with traumas, and I'm not just talking about America, I'm talking about everywhere, are dealing with traumas, and they come to Ghana for like this, a new life. And that's not to say I'm not dealing with trauma. I do have my own levels of trauma as well when it comes to certain things. But I sometimes feel like, this sounds so bad, like, I want to use the word that like people are not stable, but that's probably not the right turn of phrase, so just forgive me, okay? Just right, this is just how I can coin it at the moment, right? And so during this time, like, I've lost a lot of people, and honestly speaking, I can't tell you the reasons why. Like nothing has happened, no argument, no nothing, just people just stop speaking to you. Like, it's weird, it's really weird. And so I'm just like, And so I think I've just come to the conclusion that I just live in Ghana in this bubble by myself, you know. And I do have friends and I do have people, but it's very hard to establish the same kind of friendships, like solid friendships, you know. And that may be to do with like age as well, because, you know, as you get older, you know, it becomes harder to make friends. It's different type of friendship, right? And so maybe that's part of it. But anyway, I'm starting to digress. All right, so my life update, I guess one of the biggest life updates I've had, I haven't really spoken about on camera, but you've probably seen him on camera, okay, is my partner. I'm not gonna go into this too much. Yeah, I just feel like it's not necessary to like say too much about him in that situation, but I'm just gonna touch on it briefly. So he's a really great guy, honestly. We met in Ghana, he's Ghanaian, he doesn't live here full time yet, but so he lives in the States, but he's Ghanaian, okay, left here at a certain age and all the rest of it. Like, I did a video with him some time ago, but you know, the videographer, the sound quality was just dreadful, and I need to re-record that video. I just recorded myself. I'm like fed up. One of the things I'm fed up about. But anyway, like, videographers suggest, you know, they let you down. But anyway, before I start digressing too much, yeah, so, you know, we met in Ghana, we started out as friends, we just got on very, very well, and then it developed into a bit more than that, and so we are now partners, you know. We are partners. We take our relationship very, very seriously. And yeah, that's been great. It's been really good. It's been really, really good for me, you know. He's a very solid guy, and I don't really have anything to complain about there, to be honest with you. I don't, but you know, if you want to know more about that, you can see us together on the other channels, the vlogging channel, even on the podcast. You know, the podcast is a lot more serious than the vlogging channel. So podcast there, we do it together, and so you can, if you're that, what's the word? If you're that curious about him, you can learn a little bit about him over there and how he thinks. Yeah, so there's that. And then I feel like I have had like 2 major life changes since I've been in Ghana. And honestly speaking, when I was, my sleep was disturbed last night, this is one of the things I was thinking about. So I've had these 2 major life changes, and I think that had they happened earlier on in my journey in Ghana, they probably would have sent me back to the UK, or I would have at least wanted to go back. You know, one was obviously, like I just mentioned, you know, the breakdown of my marriage. And then the other one was my dad passing. Now, when my dad passed, a lot of things changed for me. Like, I knew that things were going to change, but a lot of things did change. I would say that my dad was very much the glue in a lot of things. And so, yeah, I knew that some things were going to fall apart, which they definitely did. I'm not going to go into that too much, but let's just say, yeah, there's just been a lot of change, a lot of things. I don't know, I'm just choosing, the reason I'm doing a lot of is because, you know, there's only so much I can say on camera really, but without, you know, spilling too much. But anyway, yeah, a lot has changed since then. But I thank God that it happened when it did, because then I had the strength to be able to continue here and think, okay, I'm doing it on my own type thing. And so that's fine. You know, it is what it is. I think one of the things about coming to Ghana is that it will toughen you the hell up. And I would say for anybody coming here, honestly speaking, I think you just have to be prepared to pivot, twist, turn upside down, like, because anything can happen here. And if you're not careful, it will send you back to the West, just because it's a lot to deal with. And Ghana is very different when you're doing Ghana by yourself, if you started off with someone. And whether that is financial or not, because financially, I wasn't necessarily impacted because I brought home the bacon, so to speak. And so it didn't affect me. He was the one that had to leave. But in terms of like little things, you know, having a man around and not having a man around, there's a difference. You have to adjust. Like I was just explaining about my door handle, like trying to get someone who is reliable to just do handyman stuff for me has been tough, right? It's been tough because the people that I would usually rely on, like, they are busy, and so like I'm having to find someone else. I'm like, how do you find someone else? Like, it's either recommendation, you know, there's no like yellow pages or whatever, and so that can be challenging. And so that, yeah, so there's little things like that, you know. I have to do a lot of the things around the house, you know, like I was saying, the gas as well. I have to go take the gas, go change it myself, you know, just make sure everything, maintenance of the house is being upkept. I've got to do all of that. So it can be tough. So I think if you're coming here to do life, then you need to be ready for all kinds of changes. I've had so many changes. I've been here 11 years and I've had so many things change for me, you know. Like, life is just so different. But me as a person as well, I have changed. I've changed a lot. I think I've grown a lot stronger. I definitely have a I don't give a attitude to some things, which I think is required here. You definitely kind of need some of that, you know, because if you don't have that, right, certain things will just like really irritate you. So, Charlie, you know how it is. So yeah, those are the major 2 life changes I've had. And in terms of like my focus and things that I want to do in Ghana, like not too much of that has changed. You'll see that I'm back to filming again. I kind of had a bit of a hiatus, one of the high ones. You know what I'm saying? Hiatus, whichever one it is. I needed that time. You know, when you do video after video, it does sometimes feel kind of draining, and I really needed a break for me, and so I wasn't uploading as much, and so, you know, it did affect my channel, obviously. But I needed some time out for me just to like rebalance and recalibrate my life a little bit, and so that's why I'd kind of gone missing and wasn't really uploading as I used to. Like, if you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that I started off and I was doing like 4 videos a week sometimes, but I only had the one channel, so I was doing like 4 videos a week. And then, you know, I dropped to 3 videos, and I was doing 3 solid videos for some time, and then I dropped down to 2, and then when I went into my hiatus, then I went to 1. And the going to 1 was a tough decision for me to make, but because I had the other channels, I had the vlogging channel was there, and that was very easy for me to do those kind of videos, and that's sort of where my attention was. And then I had the podcast, which I was just starting up as well, and I really needed to give that some focus, and it's like constantly editing, and so it was taking up a bunch of my time, you know, and I needed to stabilize some stuff. So like I have a blog, and I need that to be stable, and so I'm working on that. And so there was like all these little petty things that contributed to me not uploading as much on this channel, but I'm pretty much back now. I don't know, maybe 2 solid videos. Sometimes you may get 3. It really depends on the week, how the week is going, and so we'll see. I'm back to that. One of the other things that I have realized as well in Ghana is that, you know, you can't, and you shouldn't anyway, you shouldn't rely on an algorithm for your income, okay? Because you're gonna be in serious financial problems. Like the way that everything is now, you have to have some type of business going on. So for me, you know, I was kind of fortunate, like I have the YouTube channel, right? I have the YouTube channels, shall I say, and that's helped me financially. And then I had my blog, which I just talked about, and that helped financially. You know, when I had the first one, I sold that, gave me a bulk of cash, and that's how I was able to do the house and all of that good stuff. And then I had the Airbnbs, and for a time that was bringing in some great income as well. So I had been very fortunate in that space. But, you know, I've come to the realization that you need a business outside of what is online, so to speak. And so me and my partner have started up a business now. We are doing matchmaking, so it's called More to Love Matchmaking. You'll probably hear it on the next few videos where I've talked about it just very briefly, and it's definitely on my vlogging channel. So we decided to create this business because, you know, as I was moving closer and closer into the relationship space, it just kind of made sense. We both have a similar background where he was also divorced, married before. And so it was something we had talked about, and I was just like, one day I was just like, you know what, I think we just need to start, because I just feel like, if not now, then when? And so we decided to launch the business. So the business launched at the beginning of this month, and so far it's been going pretty well. But obviously it is very new. It's a tiny little baby, so we have this business baby together. And so we're growing that out. And I think anybody coming here should definitely have a business that doesn't rely on just YouTube. But I've always said anyway, if you're gonna have YouTube, you need to make a business out of it, if that makes sense. So yeah, so there's that. So that's what's kind of been going on with me. You know, that I went to the States as well. That definitely helped me refocus a few things. I needed some time for me, because like it has been a rough time, and I'm not pausing because I'm gonna cry or because I'm sad or anything like that. It just is what it is, right? It's just like it had been a sad time, and so I needed to refocus and think about some things. So, you know, for those that have been watching the vlogging channel, you know, it looked like, oh, Dela's always having fun. It's not always 100% fun. There are like seriousness to life as well. And so I feel like if you look at the vlogging channel, that's what you're going to see, a lot of fun. But obviously there is a serious side of life. And I do say that, you know, my life has been like a video diary, which it definitely has been. But at the same time, there are still some things that I have to keep private for myself, just because that is. But yeah, so far so good. I would say that most of the friendships that I have, most of the solid friendships that I have are from the UK. So the reason that I'm even in this space right now where I'm feeling reflective, like really, really reflective, is because I had my friend come to Ghana from the UK, and we'd been friends since we were like 12, and she came to Ghana. I hadn't seen her for years. She reached out, and you know, she took me back in time a little bit. And honestly, some of it, like, there was a day that I was just I was like broken down, because like we had talked about some stuff that happened in the past, and I needed to deal with some trauma from that. And so like I had to take a few days out after that. And then my other friend Sakina, who I interviewed, you'll see I did a podcast with her, and I did a video on this channel which has not come out yet. She's also another solid friend that I have. She's also was married, divorced, and so we have had like similar journeys. So it's easy to stick with people who have had a similar journey to you, you know. And so we just had some like great conversation, and it, you know, it just reignited some stuff in me. And I'm just like, listen, we've got to get some stuff done, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, like when I did the video with Judah and stuff like that, you realize that, you know, life can just like turn at any point for anybody. You know, like I said, I had those two major life things happen to me. He's had this thing happen to him where his business has suddenly been shut down and he's having to pivot. Now that for a lot of people would send people home, back to the West. But honestly, if you're deciding to make Ghana home, then make Ghana home. Like, just, it is home. Like, make it work, whatever happens. If you're in the West and something happens, you don't say, oh, I'm going to leave. You pivot. You make something happen for yourself. And so Ghana only works for people that have the ability to do that. If you don't have the ability to do that, then you can't stay here. And that's just a fact of it. You know, there are things that could have sent me home, like long time ago. Things, trust me, things. But I'm still here. And, you know, the few people that I know that have been here just as long as I have, they've also had their thing go on. But, you know, they're able to pivot, change things. You know, one thing I'd say about Ghana is don't be scared to start over. That's one of the things that I've definitely learned. Don't be scared to start over. You try something, it doesn't work. Okay, didn't work. What's next? And just keep moving until you get it right, because eventually you will get it right. But Ghana is for the entrepreneurial. If you're not entrepreneurial, you're going to have a very tough time here. You can have a lovely package. And I've said this in videos before. You can have a lovely package, you know, where someone pays you to come here and do a job or whatever. But that's not necessarily lifetime. And so even yesterday when I was on the phone with Biggs, just last night actually, and we were talking about, you know, the two types of people, the people that work and the people that are entrepreneurial. And I was saying to him that, excuse me, I was saying to him that those of us that are entrepreneurial, it may seem glamorous because, you know, pretty much I can wake up when I want, right? Start my day, go to bed at whatever time, wake up when I want. You know, it seems easy, but if the money not there, you're going to be sweating. You're going to be working like extra hours thinking like there's a certain element of lost peace because you're trying to make things work. You've got to get that money. Whereas if you are on the other side and you have a job, you are tied to somebody else. And therefore, if they say 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, you got to be here. That's the time you got to be here. You are pretty much a slave to those hours, you know. That's why you got to do what you love, otherwise it becomes very hard. And so, you know, we were just having that conversation. It was just interesting. And so I was just like, although things are not perfect for me, I'm grateful for that I have the ability to switch it up and, you know, do different things, because I definitely need that. I've been sitting for too long. I'm tired of sitting. Yeah, so you need to definitely have the ability to switch it up when you want. Sorry, I just needed to stand for a minute because I was tired of sitting, like, ugh. Anyways, I'm pretty much gonna wrap up now, but yeah, so those are my thoughts. That's my life update. So life update is, you know, yes, I'm with somebody else. We are pretty much solid. Things are going really well for us. My two major life updates that really shook me were definitely my divorce, and then also, you know, the passing of my dad, which shifted a lot of things, changed a lot of things for me. So those are the two major things. But so far, I'm pretty much pleased with everything. I feel like I'm in this new era, you know, I'm in my 40s, and my 40s feels good. So I had this online conversation with somebody yesterday, and they sent me a reel, and they were like, oh, and the reel was basically saying like the 40s is like the best time of your life. And, you know, it really resonated with me. I was like, you know what, I'm having such a good time. Like, things are not perfect, but we're having like a really great time. Like, I feel good in this space. I feel like I am who I am. You know, you like, as you travel through your life, right? You're trying to discover who you are. You're not sure. You think it's this, it's not quite that. Then you think it's this, and then you know, you're always trying to work out who you are. But I feel like now I'm at a place where this is who I am, and I have stamped that, basically. I've stamped to say that, yeah, this is who I am. I'm happy with this person. And one thing I will say about stamping who you are is that people don't like it sometimes, you know. It rubs people up the wrong way because they feel like, oh, she's changed. Why is she like this? She's changed. Yeah, I've changed because I had to change. I had to change, you know. You put boundaries into place and people don't like it and all of that good stuff, but it is what it is. And, you know, the core of me is still the same. I just have put boundaries in certain places where they needed to be put, and that's it. That is it. So you like it, if you don't, I will. It's my life. I think when my dad passed, it shook me, and it made me realize that life is so short, and I cannot continue to live my life for other people and what they may or may not think about me, because the day that it gets to your turn to cross over, those people are going about their business. It's like, you have to understand the way life works. Like, it's not about other people, really. It is about you. As long as you're not hurting anybody else and you're doing what you feel is okay, it's between you and God, right? And that's pretty much it. I've made some tough decisions to leave certain people behind, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. And if you're watching this video and you're one of them, sorry. It just is what it is. Honestly, your time becomes so precious, and you don't have time for what you don't have time for, and it's just that, just that. But anyway, I won't go too much that way, but you know, that's just how it is. But overall, Ghana's great. I have no complaints about it in that sense. It's not always easy, it's not always smooth sailing, but it is what it is, and that is it. So that's all I'm gonna say. That's really my major life update. But anyway, I'm here. Let me just promote my business now. Okay, so my matchmaking business is called More to Love Matchmaking. You can find it on my website, moretodela.com. I'll put the link into the description box. Okay. It is specifically for people who are divorced, separated, going through divorce, whatever, or those coming out of long-term relationships. So we basically pair people together. So we have a pool of people who are looking for partners. We kind of vet them, find out, you know, what their goals are, their ambitions. If we see two people that align, we put them together, bish bash boss. So it's not like a dating app. It's very much, so there's no algorithm involved. It's very much us vetting people, putting two people who believe are matched. And it is international. It's not for just people who are in Ghana. It's worldwide. It's a worldwide thing. So, like I said, we just started. I'm very excited about where this can go. We've had people sign up already, but you know, we want to get the right people into the pool, you know, people that really have something going for themselves, or you know, they have ambitions in life and all the rest of it. So very excited about that. So if you want to, it's a discreet service as well. So if you want to sign up, no one will even know that you signed up. I ain't gonna say anything. Yeah, I mean, there's no shame in it anyway. I feel like one of the things that made me want to do this matchmaking service is because I went through this myself. When I was ready to date again, I was like, where am I gonna find this person? I'm in Ghana, and I know what I'm kind of looking for. Can I find it here? Like the odds of it, you know. So you try to get your friends' recommendations. They don't have recommendations. It's just dry. And most of your friends, they're all even married already. So like that circle of people when you're of a certain age is just not really there. So that's how this kind of came about. So yeah. Anyway, you can sign up. Link is in the description box. And that is it. But I'm going to end the video there because I didn't expect to talk this much, but here I am talking this much, and I have a ton of things to do today. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Until next time, I am out.